Okay, good morning and welcome to Shiri's Weight Loss Journey. Um, Today I almost jumped out of the bed, did my exercise, and was gonna run out there and start door dashing until I caught a hold of myself. And I'm like, look, go ahead and get ready. If you want to door dash, that's fine. That's fine. Right? My mind was suggesting, why don't you go ahead and wait for the lunch? The lunch. Um, the lunch dashes. I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, okay, so since you're going to wait and you're already ready, you did your exercises, you know, you've challenged yourself to just walk in 30 minutes, right? The faster you walk, the more distance you can cover. So that could be your new challenge, 30 minutes and seeing just how far you can get to in 30 minutes, right? Because we would love to get to 3 miles in 30 minutes. That's what we would love, right? 10 miles a minute is not too shabby, okay? And it's good for the heart. But right now, what I want to do is I want to go and buy me a moderate extension cord. I have a really long extension cord, 100-foot extension cord, and that's for my my lawnmower, because my lawnmower is electric. And I don't want to use this one for this close and up personal task of having to chop down these bushes. I'm going to show you these bushes that I'm going to chop down. They might have been, needing to be chopped down a long time ago because, they're blocking the sidewalk. But I was like, ain't nobody coming to my door. No way. Let them live. Hold on. And then I decided, if I chop down those bushes okay, right? If I do a good job chopping those bushes down, then I could chop down some branches on these 2 trees that are in my yard. Okay? So that's my new goal. My new goal is doing some chores here at the house, because those things still need to be done regardless. Okay? Regardless. So I'm going to chop down those bushes that is taking up over almost half of my sidewalk. Okay? But what I need is an extension cord. And since I'm a member at Harbor Freight, I'm going to go to Harbor Freight and buy me an extension cord. Then I'm going to go back to the house. I'm going to show you guys these bushes that I'm going to chop down. And I would love any comments that say, you did a good job, girl. You did a good job. Those bushes needed to be retired. Oh my gosh, there's a pink bus there that has imperfect foods on it, right? And it's the color pink, right? Anytime we used to see a pink colored vehicle, we thought of Mary Kay, because Mary Kay was the one that was brought the pink Cadillacs to the city of Dallas, right? Their corporate offices is over here in Dallas. So yeah, I'm gonna go down and buy a I would say like a 25-foot extension cord. I'm gonna go and buy a 25-foot extension cord. Because I don't need to be dragging around a 100-foot extension cord with a lethal weapon like a damn chainsaw. Okay? Gotta have the right tools to do the job right. Damn it. So anyway, I've been awake since about 6 o'clock. We'll just say 6 o'clock. Because that's when I was officially like eyes open awake. You know, watching TV. Oh, wait. Decided to take my meds, right? I had to take the amoxicillin, and I also had to take my synthetic thyroid. So I took those, right? Chilled out, waited, you know. Then I was like, okay, let's get the exercise over with, right? Let's get the exercises over with. Let's see, you know, when you can have the exercises over with. Waking up at a reasonable time, such as 6 o'clock, you know. And I'm telling you, even though I wake up, that does not mean I am up and about, okay? So, I get about 8 o'clock, right? I get about out and about, up and out and about off the bed around 8 o'clock, right? It's about 2 hours after I done opened up my eyes. Okay? Yeah. So, I'm like, okay, you know, you need to do something. You need to do something because you ain't feeling like you want to do anything. I'm like, yeah, I don't feel like I want to do anything. So I do maybe like five minutes of yoga, stretching, and breathing. Okay, I felt a little bit better. So then I decided, go on ahead and knock off your lightweight exercises. Just knock them out, right? You know that will only take you about 20, 30 minutes. Right? After I did that, you know, I decided to go ahead and, you know, take a dose of the creatine, right? Because you know I'm starting a creatine routine, okay? And trying to get up into like taking 3 to 4 doses a day, right? To see if that will feed my muscles. Okay. That's the goal. The goal is to have the creatine feed the muscles. So I've already taken 2 doses of the creatine. And when I was mixing the creatine all by itself in some water, I'm like, this reminds me of like cornstarch, right? You know, when you're making cornstarch and you want the cornstarch to thicken up the gravy, the sauce. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Anyway, I did not let that distract me, right? I kept going. I'm like, you know, yeah, it could be cornstarch for the body, but you kind of need that because, you know, my skin started really flapping. And it wasn't because it was as fat as it was, but believe it was because the muscles have been breaking down faster than I was building them up because I'm old. Okay? And if it wasn't for that young lady that said, you know, old folks need creatine more than anybody. And no shade, but that's just the way it is. And I said, yeah, she probably right. Because I'm doing good on my diet. And I'm losing muscle. I'm losing a lot of muscle. You know, and even if I increase my exercise, I still feel like I'm losing muscle. So I'm glad I got the creatine. Thank you, young whippersnapper that said old people need creatine more than anybody. Okay. Because even though I've been on it for only, 3 days? I've only been on it for 3 days. Right? I'm feeling the difference. Right? Because I've been walking, 30 minutes for 5 days. The first 2 days, it was like, wow, this is not the result that I want, right? Then after I started taking the creatine, I'm like, yeah, this is a little better, this is a little bit better, And, but this is like the 3rd day of doing the creatine. I'm like, yeah, I can tell the difference. I am not lying. If I could get a good sponsorship for creatine, I would do it. That's just how much I believe in the creatine. Now, I heard about creatine a while back, right? Men have basically been, taking creatine for a minute. When they're working out. Look at that electric Cadillac. That electric Cadillac is beautiful. Beautiful. Like a plum color. Just beautiful. Brand new, I think. I think that was temporary license plates. But yeah. Boba Hagen. Oh no, I think they're closed. No, they're open. I might have to go in there and see if I can buy some boba for my baby boo. My baby boo. Because she loves boba. I don't like it, but yeah, I'm gonna try to see, because I had seen this lady had bought some boa that enabled her to be able to make the drinks herself. Okay? And I'm like, yeah, that's what I would like. I would like to put that in a little gift bag for my boo. Right? Because she got a birthday coming up in exactly 2 days. She don't celebrate birthdays, but she likes gifts. She told me that. She's like, I don't celebrate the birthdays, but I do like the gifts, Mama. And I understand her saying that to me, because I told her, I said, look, you can tell me that you don't believe in Santa Claus, but as soon as you tell me you don't believe in Santa Claus, we're going to stop celebrating with gifts. Okay? So they lied to me for years, telling me they believed in Santa Claus. Hold on. Okay. I found this 10-foot extension cord. Boom. For $7. They had some 50-foot in there for $22. I was going to go and look for the 25-foot, and I'm like, you know what? Just get this 10-foot and move it. Move it, move it. Right? Just move along, girl. Move along. Okay. I see a Porsche over here. It's like a matted gray. I want to see if it's an electrical. I think it is an electrical car. I think it is. Can you see it? Oh, it's an e-hybrid. Is it e-hybrid? Look at it. It's an e-hybrid Porsche. Looks just like the fucking Infiniti. Okay, so an e-hybrid, it has two. See, it has one on this side. Then it has another on this side. So I guess as an e-hybrid, which would be nice, an e-hybrid, you can do both electrical and gas. So you got to have two tanks or two you know what I'm trying to say. So they have one on each side. Yeah. That's phenomenal to find, you know, to just to think about that realistically. That, you know, you're using both electricity and gas. Right? And honestly, I think that since, you know, they've adopted so many electric cars, I believe there is a difference in our air quality because of it. Because we've adopted so many electric cars, that it's made a difference in our air quality. Man, this one lady, she went all the way to Phoenix. Right? And while she was over there in Phoenix, from Atlanta to Phoenix, while she was over there in Phoenix, she decided to catch a ride with automatic driving vehicles. And I was like, you know, I would like to do that. I would really like to do that. Because, you know, to me, you know, being my old age, you know, the prospect of being driven without inconveniencing anybody, right? I just get in my car, I program it, it takes me where I want to go, is ideal to me. Okay? And all I have to do is just get in and get out of the car. Just get in and get out of the car. That to me sounds so ideal to me. Okay, this nursery here, it says it's accepting applications. Yes. Now, her video wasn't the first time that I've heard about it. The first time I heard about it was when this guy and his wife was taking a private flight out of left field, okay? And they got driven down to the airport with a non-driver occupied automated vehicle. Yeah! I was like, yeah! Right? And their trip, I can't remember where they were going, but their trip allowed them to sit in the lounge there at the airport. They had their dogs with them, right? They didn't have to go through TSA hassle. I said that word. Oh, with my back in that one. Hassle. TSA hassle. And the only reason why I'm saying it like that is because, you know, I had a keychain holder thingamajig, right? About this long. It was just a piece of metal. And them motherfuckers put me in a little compartment and called the police on me. And everybody was walking by, seeing me in this plastic container. I was done. I was like, I will never fly again. That's how I felt at the time. And I had not flew except in 2021. I mean, every time I fly, right, it always had disappointed me, right? They were either taking and making me throw away my toiletries, you know, or making me pay for the last one, making me pay for baggage. I was like, you know, wow, I don't even want to fly no more. If I could get me a self-driving vehicle, I don't think I would fly unless I was leaving the country. And even then, I'd have to cross some water that don't have a ferry. Because I was surprised that they got some ferries and stuff going on the East Coast and the Gulf of Mexico that, you know, we're not familiar with because, you know, we're not. But from what I understand, you know, it's worth investigating. Because I don't know that much at all. But it's worth investigating to know whether or not, you know, you can you know, just drive upon a boat and arrive in another country. You know, like the same way you can do these ferries when you're driving from, you know, like America to Canada. You know, and then Canada, you know, to like Alaska, you know. And then over there in Europe, it seems like they can do it, right? So there's all kinds of, you know, forms of transportation that we don't really know about that goes beyond just flying. It's basically what I'm saying. Especially when, you know, we're so indebted to our vehicles, even if it's not love. Okay? But a lot of us, we really love our vehicle because our vehicle allows us to be mobile, to go where we want to go, when we want to go, and to move right now or not. Okay? So, that's something that I'm really thankful about, especially, since, I've signed up for like this Uber, right? I'm like, okay, sometimes it's not worth it for a person to do, to drive their car to a parking lot and take a flight, Definitely taxis is just outrageous. Outrageous. How dare they? How dare they charge you per occupancy? I think it's like every quarter of a mile. Right? Every quarter of a mile. But I think I had checked last year how much it would cost me to take a cab to the airport, how much it would cost me to take an Uber to the airport. It would be cheaper. It would have been cheaper for me to take an Uber or a Lyft to the airport rather than a cab. But thankfully, my daughter decided to scoop me up and to do a park and ride, to the airport. Because that's how I would have done it, right? Is, to do a park and ride, get a shuttle into the airport. And that way, even if there's delays or whatever that happen, you can, when you arrive, your car, all you had to do is get to the park and ride, which you can get a shuttle to the park and ride, and boom, boom. Hold on.